Project I've been working on is called Mood Cue. Essentially, I have combined two projects. The first project dealt with the LEDs, and the second project dealt with the servo motor. Now, you can't see the servo motor right now. That's because it's actually hooked up far away with these three wires. I've also added in this project two capacitors and one potentiometer. The potentiometer acts like a voltage divider. I also pre-programmed the Arduino Uno, and I won't show you the coding because that's a little more difficult. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook up the Arduino to a power source, and I will move the potentiometer. It's essentially a knob, and I'll show you what it does to the three LEDs, and then later on I'm going to go in front of my door and show you what the servo motor does when I move the potentiometer, and how the three LEDs will actually mean something with the servo motor. Charger. I don't know if you can see that, it's not in focus. I don't know if you can see that, but this BlackBerry charger outputs 5 volts or 750 milliamps. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to connect the two, and I'm going to plug it into my wall. Okay, so I'm not sure if you can see, but right now the blue LED is on. Now what happens when I move the potentiometer is it actually changes the LED that goes on. Okay, so what I have done here is I've read the potentiometer with the Arduino, and I've changed it into degrees. Now I'll tell you why I've changed it in degrees a little later. But what I said was, if the potentiometer has gone between, let's see, 80 degrees and 60, I want you to put on the red LED. And if it's between 90 and 100, I want you to put on the yellow one. So as I turn this knob, it will change. It will change the LED. Now I'll tell you why that's useful and why I have 3 different colored LEDs. What I'm going to talk about now is what's in front of my door. In front of my door I have 3 indicators. I have come in, knock, and stay out. Also what I have is an arrow. This arrow connects to the servo motor. Now, in the previous video I showed you, I don't know if you saw, but there was 3 wires coming out. These 3 wires are actually hooked up to the front of my door. I put 3 long wires that go across my room to the front of my door. So this is a servo motor here, and what a servo motor does is it takes in an input. It takes in an angle. So the servo motor can actually only go from 0 to 180 degrees. So what I have done is I've said, okay, Arduino, I want you to read what the potentiometer takes out, turn it into an angle. By the way, the potentiometer gives out an angle because it's a voltage divider. Converted that voltage into an angle, and then I've said, okay, take that angle and I want you to send it to the servo motor. Now what I'm going to do now is take this arrow and I'm going to connect it to the servo motor. Now before I do this, I'm going to explain why I had the 3 LEDs. Now the 3 LEDs, I had red, I had yellow, and I had blue. So what I said was, okay, let's assume that come in is 0 degrees. Now, LEDs, I'm talking to the LEDs now. LEDs, if the angle is 0 degrees, I want you to go on. Or I want the red one, or sorry, the blue one to go on. Let's say it's 90 degrees here. I would say, okay, LEDs, or Arduino technically, if it's 90 degrees, I want you to put on the yellow LED. And for the red one, it would be 180 degrees, and I'd say, okay, same thing, Arduino, read that, say, hey, red LED, turn on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook up this arrow to the stay out direction. Okay? Okay. So right now it's in the stay out position. If I go back to my potentiometer, which I will do, and I turn it, I'll be able to actually move this arrow. Now, I can actually direct it to anyone without actually seeing the board, right? Because I have the 3 LEDs. I'll know which one it's at. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go inside, and I'm actually going to move the potentiometer. And you'll see that I'll be able to change which indicator it goes to. Okay, so that's my project there. As you can see, I was able to move the arrow to any direction I wanted to. So that's my project, and maybe I'll show the next one I do on video.